Okay, folks, this will be a challenging one. It's got potential. It's really quite pretty. I didn't actually find it myself. I got it from an op shop. So it was in an op shop. So I haven't stuffed up any of the environment for it because it was in an op shop. I got this piece of whatever it is. I'll soon show you what it is. I'll go 400 for that. I've already adjusted that. Okay, let's see what this is. It is a piece of coral. So it's a piece of coral, but I didn't, as I said, I got it from an op shop. I didn't actually go to a coral reef and pick it up, which you shouldn't do. It's basically a piece of coral. So we're just going to put it on the glass. Be careful not to scratch the glass with it. That's tricky. So, but basically it's a piece of coral. I don't know where it came from or if the person who picked it up did it legally or did it illegally. But it's a real shame that the Great Barrier Reef has gone to rack and ruin. This has just led me to touch upon that. Because the world's heating up and we're getting a lot of coral bleaching events and it's really not acceptable. But what can we do, folks? It would be nice if we could somehow cut back on our CO2 emissions. I think that's going to be where we're going to cut it. So we've got to somehow cut back on our CO2 emissions, which is easier said than done, folks. I don't know how things are going to play, how we're going to make the planet a cleaner and greener place. It's like everything's all about money. The love of money, you just have to follow the money and you'll know that that's why the planet is falling apart and suffocating under all this CO2. And we just have there's just no way that we can somehow make a difference. However much people would love to make a difference, people who are less flushed with cash, people with less power, are typically the ones that want to see change, but they can't. And people power from those people alone isn't going to cut it. We need the rich and the the powerful to help, and they're not helping. So what can we do? Put our hands up and just say, just accept it. Accept that the planet's going to heat up. Accept that we're going to lose our fucking reef and everything else. What can we do? There is nothing we can do about it. There is nothing. We can't fucking fix it. The rich have the power, but they don't want to use their fucking power. So I don't know what to say except to use bad language, just like a lot of people who've had enough typically do. So we have no way of fixing this problem unless the rich can get together and put their stupid brainless heads together and make something. But if we don't get any cooperation from them, we're basically screwed. And we can't get them to work. They just care about money. Everything's about money. They just see dollar signs. It's all in their head. They have the fucking power and they don't want to use it. They just want to make more fucking money, more greed, more porkery. And what can we do? Nothing. Fuck all. Sweet F.A. Fuck all. We can't. We have no fucking means to convince these stupid fucktards that what they're doing is wrong and that they should pay for this. But they won't. I know they won't. I know they'll get away with what's being called ecocide, a form of murder. Ecocide. There was an article I read which talked about the possibility of punishing people for doing that, committing a crime that could be called ecocide or killing of nature, killing of the environment. That's what it is. And basically, there hasn't been a classification like that in legal terms, but there ought to be. There ought to be. That if people, big corporations in particular, if they pollute or they kill our environment and our flora and fauna, they should be punished with it's like a form of murder, a form of punishment for it, like killing anything like people, because it kills people. It may not kill people directly. It's like a form of by proxy. It's like a form of proxy killing. It's not a direct. It's not like the person had a gun in their hand and fired the gun at the victim, but in a roundabout sort of a way, people die, like in third world countries especially. So people end up dying because they have diseases, they have lack of food security, their countries are sinking underneath the rising water, like the island nations such as Kiribati. So basically that kills, but it's not like a direct killing like as it's understood in normal everyday law. But it's murder. It kills people eventually, and the rich usually are the ones who get away with it, who don't end up dead themselves because they've got money to sort of sidestep things. But basically, yeah, ecocide is indeed a real crime, and it should be treated as a crime. So let's see how we go. Anyway, I'll just move these out of the way. That looks really quite interesting. I think now we can call this demo quits.